Connecting, connecting, connecting. That seems to be the books that I took with me on the plane this time. I have a threefer for you. I did not read through every single word of every single book. I'll tell you that up front because people are always freaking out asking me how I read all the time and so much. I sure as hell did not get through every single page of these books. But it's because I really wanted to sort of figure out what the value was going to be for me. First up, How to Really Use LinkedIn by Jan Vermeuren. God, I hope I said your name right, Jan. This is a self-published book about LinkedIn. It has all kinds of information in it. The one ding I will give Jan is that it is organized a little strangely. I had a little trouble kind of making my way through the end. I will say this, though. There's lots of meat in this book if you want to get to the back of it on how to really use LinkedIn. As you know, I did the foreword for Louis Gray and Frank Agin's book on linked networking. I think that's probably a more concise book, but there's stuff worth picking out of this book, so look around for how to really use LinkedIn. Second up was Clara Shee's book called The Facebook Era, Tapping Online Social Networks and How to Build Better Products, Reach Audiences, and Sell More Stuff. That's where it turned me off right away. Sell more stuff, because Facebook to me and all the social networks isn't just a place to sell more stuff. However, I guess if you're into the marketing and selling kind of a thing, this might be a good point to start looking around. It's a good place to learn a little bit more about what Clara's view of Facebook is as part of the marketing cycle. But I would say that yeah, you know, I'm just a little back and forth on whether or not it's a book I'd recommend as far as, well, it depends what your goals are. You want to learn a bit about sort of applying sales to Facebook, then this could be your book. And I think, you know, digital web in general. It was really interesting. It's worth taking a look at. The Facebook Era, Clara Shee. Take a look. Or she. Next up, Iggy Pintado. Iggy wins for the funny cover. By the way, do we notice the difference in the covers here? Blue is the new black, evidently. See, we've got these whitish with blue, just like the LinkedIn covers. Iggy's book is pretty good. Iggy's is also self-published. It's called The Connection Generation. Iggy's pretty interesting insofar as he talks about the different types of connectors out there. So this is, if you were going to drill down on part of one of Gladwell's books about connections, this might be your book for you. Connection Generation didn't give me as much information on how to do something, but it was full of interesting facts that you could probably pull into documents and pull into case studies and use for thinking about strategy. It's interesting because it gives me a sense of how to relate if you're one type of connector versus another type of connector, which evidently I am a super connector, or according to Iggy's book. But he goes into like talking about managing the connected generation, how to deal with connected consumers, etc. That's where the book picks up and gets really interesting to me. So Iggy Pintado, Connection Generation. Like I said, I did not read every single word of all three books. I didn't really feel the need, but I really enjoyed what I got out of them. I'm really happy to recommend them as something to dig into, but in all three cases, these aren't the kind of book that I tore into and had to, you know, was going to scream and tell the world. They're more like good additions to other stuff you're working on. Hope that's useful information to you. I'm Chris Brogan from chrisbrogan.com. We'll catch you again soon.